Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Paragon, the Overprime Partners, where we talk about Paragon, the Overprime, of course. This week, we got a lot to talk about when the patch came out. I've already went over the patch notes on my channel, but we've actually experienced the effects that this patch has had, so we're going to talk about that. And, of course, the addition of Wukong, which was a bit of a... But anyway, I'm your host, the Mangoose. Joining me, as always, is Stunt. How you doing, Stunt?
Good, Mangoose. Good. How's Eagle doing? What are you up to, Eagle?
Dude, life's been pretty tame, clapping up Wukong mains. Just taking it day by day, enjoying the new patch. Excited to talk about a lot of the cool things that we got coming out with some of my co-hosts here, like you. Smooth transition yet again. Oh no, they're muted. Like I said, Raven.
Hey, what's up?
This fucking guy.
Nah, we're chilling. Yeah, I got to play a little bit of it so far. Be playing more of it tonight, but initial thoughts are Wukong is giga bad. So,
Lo, but are you unmuted now?
You guys hear me? Hello.
Okay, there you are. Now go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I was muted without paying attention. I was trying to adjust some things. But hello, guys. Happy Friday, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. We're here on another Pop Show episode number 10, and we're here to talk about today's, this week's update, Wukong. What do you guys think about him? And then after that, exclamation giveaway in my chat. On to you, Stunt.
Well, what are we gonna kick off with? Wukong, the controversial player, or what?
Guys,
might as well, right?
Dude, I feel like we lost. Like, some of us OG players lost credibility because I was doomsaying for like a week. He's coming. It's over when he arrives.
My biggest talk behind Wukong was, obviously, again, I'm going to go off subject to just a little bit here. The reason that out of the 3 para-zombies, we have 2 companies that survived is because they're listening to the community. We've had this conversation with Mangoose, with NureOnna. I've talked to Raven too, Eagle. We've talked. The fact that they knew that the community knew this was such a broken character, I'm thinking they gave us an underwhelming Wukong, so they can slowly buff him to that perfect spot. And to me, I think that's more important than giving us an overpowered, like between Xena and Wukong. Xena was extremely overpowered between the two. I'd rather have a hero that's underwhelming and you bring him up to a fine point, whereas you bring in a hero that's way overpowered. It annoys new players and makes them want to quit, and then you slowly try to decrease it to bring out that fine point or that perfect spot. I mean, like, what do you guys think?
I 100% disagree with you.
Got him.
Really?
Pretty much all points. I think Xena was extremely well balanced upon release. She was not overpowered whatsoever. People they got killed by her and then lost their minds. But you get killed by Kalari too. Like, people lost their minds about Xena, but she was just well balanced. She, if anything, she was a little undertuned. Wukong, being as bad as he is right now, is just a balancing failure on Soulleve's part and nothing more. I don't think they introduced him underpowered and then want to slowly tune him up due to the community. I think they just failed in balance. They just did a poor job of introducing Wukong. We got to call it like we see it. I love Souleve, I love Overprime, but they did it bad this time. They shit their pants with Wukong a little bit.
So, in my opinion, I feel like a big part of what made Wukong like really good in vintage Paragon was the movement speed of the minions. Even after like the buff of what they are like has set them to now, they were faster than that. And you also had all of your tiers set up, like tier 1, tier 2, and then your in-head more in line with traditional MOBAs and stuff. So it felt increasingly like insane when a tier 1 was gone at 8 minutes, and then a tier 2 was gone at like 15, 16 minutes off of this one character. And I feel like that very much so contributed to what made him feel so powerful, because he was able to rotate so much quickly, because there's A, more towers, B, there is also a much smaller map than what Overprime is presenting to the game with. So he felt a lot stronger than, I feel like it's, I agree with Mangoose that it is partially like he needs to be better tuned. There's things that I would have changed in his kit. Since your game is 80% fight, 20% strategy, at least according to what they say, I feel like you should have made his like combat ability a little bit better. I mean, people have too much mobility in the game. They just move out of clones. His 1cc ability knocks people away from him as a melee burst damage character. Not a burst damage, but gradual damage character. So I don't know. I feel like that should be adjusted, but as is now, he just like, I see Wukong and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You can shove that wave, and we're gonna send one person in front of the inhib, and you've just wasted time.
I do want to ask you though something. You said 80% fighting, 20% MOBA strategy. That originally it was 70% fighting and then 30% strategy. They did increase strategy, so it's more than 30% strategy. Yeah, it's more than 30% strategy, less than 70% fighting. And as for me, for Wukong, I think he's. It's not that he's bad, and I don't think he needs a buff. I think he's countered better because I see that this game has, like, it's heavy on CC. Like, realize every single game you go into, like, there's a lot of CC, and a lot of CC is what Wukong doesn't like. You're able to stop him. You're able to, put him in checks. I think that's why we all feel he's just so squishy. I mean, if you catch him, you can kill him. But again, a tanky kind of Wukong, you don't even need to build damage on him all the whole time. I had a Wukong that was solo laning and he was doing great. And we were playing competitive. And, there were sometimes he would slip and just keep pushing on him. We were like, oh, we got to rotate. Sometimes we weren't able to catch him. A couple times Aura was able to stop him, a Rampage Rock, put him in place for a second. But like, I think he's okay for now. I don't see really him needing a buff. It's just because we're coming from a notion that, or previously, he's coming to destroy, and now that he's not destroying, we're like, he's very weak. I don't think he's weak. I think he's okay. He's okay. I'm happy with him. He doesn't kill me. Well, also, but I don't want him to kill me.
Kind of speaking to what Taboo said in chat, which he's not S tier or A tier. He's just a hero. He's not everybody needs to be viable. Mm-hmm. I mean, but I think right now he's probably the weakest hero in the entire game. I think Countess has been replaced. Countess went up a little bit with this patch, and then Wukong came in, so Countess is no longer the weakest hero. I think it's now Wukong, and I don't think he should be introduced as that weak.
I think this is the only time I've ever disagreed with Mangoose. I think Wukong in this game, as of right now, comes down to how skilled you are as a player. He's not that. I think he's the only hero right now I can think of that you can't ask a new player, hey, just pick this guy, and you'll be fine by smashing buttons. I think like NureOnna said, I've seen really good Wukong players, and that only came down because the player was actually good and knew what he was doing or she was doing. You know what I mean? Like the reason I made a comment about Xena, it wasn't that Xena is like this easy brain dead player, right? But when it came to Xena in solo lane and new players wanted to play, I'd say, hey, just pick Xena and have fun. That's Overprime's original hero, and for the most part, they could handle what they're doing. Wukong's not like that. If you give Wukong to a new player, like in other pair zombies, you would ask him to play Greystone, right? In solo lane, it's not the same. I think Wukong, when it comes down to that, if you do not have MOBA skills, it's gonna suck really bad for you. You're gonna have a horrible time playing Wukong, and you're gonna make it a lot easier on the enemy team to gank you and kill you.
So I would like to hear a little bit of Raven's opinion on this take. I think so. A lot of the fear around Wukong comes from let's be honest, it comes from objective burn, right? Everyone's like, oh, he could take spirit in 7.3 seconds by himself. Oh shit! Oh god, the prime burn, it's so good. He could take your tower really fast if you rotate out of lane. Oh man. But in my opinion, especially at higher levels of play, a character who's based around nothing else but mobility and objective burn just isn't good enough. It seems like the fundamentals of what his kit as of now does best just isn't good enough to be played in a high ranked environment, and those things do scale better as the game goes on. But even at its highest, like even at the pinnacle of what he's supposed to be doing, it's not good enough to just be able to burn prime really fast, because with there only being 2 objectives on the map and 2 teleportation devices that also got nerfed that allow you to get closer in proximity to it or right on one of them, you being the only one there is disadvantageous. There's only those 2 objectives, so they're relatively easy to keep warded. So if you start it, people are going to rotate to it. There's a sprint mode. People are going to get there pretty quickly. So in my opinion, off of what I've seen in like ranked where he's been picked up once or twice and he tries to do the, oh, I'm going to burn prime thing, the map just allows for counter sieging of characters that are trying to quick burn objectives unless they have a significant lead, and because of that, he's just not super great. But this isn't coming from like Diamond or Masters. This is just my opinion on what I've seen. I would like to hear from Raven what he thinks on it.
Yeah, so my hot take is that I agree in the sense that he doesn't have to be so overpowered. He can just exist and be a hero to play. But he is extremely underwhelming. Multiple points, but I can start with saying, like, in the sense of like, oh, it's new hero hype. I think that any MOBA should overtune a hero at first to bring that hype in and be like, oh my God, look at what this character can do. And then you tone it back. You go, okay, yeah, no, we get it, but you're kind of just doing that so that we could bring more people in. They get excited. They play the character, whatever. It doesn't have to be broken, but it could be strong, you know? Mm-hmm. My thing is, when you look at, because I can directly compare it to Paragon, because that's where he's coming from. But when you look at that, where did Paragon leave off? Paragon left off with the wacky-ass, stupid 3-card system, right? Mm-hmm. So, and because Wukong was mostly played solo lane, you get you kind of get your power spikes quicker, if that makes sense. So in more traditional MOBA sense, you're building up to your items. So with that, I've played a few games of Wukong so far. I've played him once in the jungle and then a few in solo lane. But if you go like you want to go offensive, let's go attack speed, let's go attack damage, it doesn't build up as fast as you think. Because I would try and go and take underling with like one item with Spirit's Fang, even if I was jungle early. You just can't do it as fast. You start building a couple more attack speed damage items. Now you turn into a squishy target where with sprint mode, you can't just like get away from people because they're just going to come up and kill you and either stun you out of it, root you, and then you're really screwed. I tried doing the split pushing. It worked a little bit. I was able to get like an inhib down by myself to about like half HP. But again, you know, they can just rotate with sprint mode. And one character can just stop me. A Murdoch with 3 crit items, I'm dead. I tried the tank. I didn't get too far with it. I haven't really experimented that much, like your traditional solo build right now. Don't know how well that could play out, but you know, you're thinking Wukong, you're thinking, let me get my clones out as fast as I can. They start attacking and doing more damage. Mm-hmm. It could still work, but
what about a mixture of tank and damage, tank and crit?
I'll be honest with you, tank Wukong sucks. He becomes completely worthless. If you don't put attack speed and crit, he becomes. I've seen we had a 100% tank Wukong who was building more like a Sevrog and Rampage than he was as with crit and attack speed. And like Ego said, he was not a problem. We didn't even care if he was on the map, to be honest with you.
Oh.
So like, and then my biggest complaint about Wukong is that his kit doesn't really work in this game. Because like you said, when your prior notions of that, oh, he's just going to be that split pusher and take the towers, objectives, whatever. I mean, you could kind of do that, but once you get into a team fight, I mean, all these other big AoE abilities and even like Sereth is just so much better in this game than she was in Paragon versus Wukong, where you're sitting there because, and Soul Reaper said he said it today on his stream, and I kind of I was like, that makes a lot of sense. His stance switch, the ability to share cooldowns. So if you are running up on someone and you staff them away, but the other guy's coming up and you can't then cloud walk your way out or do the bungee jump or the pogo stick, I should say, because it's on the same cooldown, even if you switch stance. If they switch that, it might make him a little bit better, but you like I said, you're useless. So once you push them away or you do your slam at the staff, that's it, you're in. You got to now commit to that fight.
Yeah.
So I don't like that. They should definitely change that. But yeah, then again, like I said, you can't. I don't know. The two builds don't work. You either go damage and attack speed, and you're really squishy, get caught, and you die. You can't do anything at team fight, or you go tank, and then you're just kind of existing as a character. So it's weird.
Do you guys suppose? Oh, I don't know. I was just gonna say, do you guys suppose that there's not enough item systems to have someone like Wukong around?
No, it's his kit.
I think it's a kit problem. Yeah. Like you could give him an item that was like, you get 100% attack speed and 50% crit, and he would still be kind of bad because he's just, if you're not, bold hot take. We're in a tank meta. Hot take. Tank items are good, but he's just he's either too squishy or he's a non-existent character. If you're building them too squishy, then you have to have a payoff. The investment is just not worth the payoff currently for Wukong, in my opinion. You're building this damage, you're building this crit. Your team fight impact is minimal. What are you gonna do? Get out of the fight quicker on us? Oh well, Jesus Christ. Well, okay, cool. We're rotating to Spirit. We're rotating on to Prime. You're trying to solo burn it. No, at higher levels of play, games are won by these things. There will always be wards on it. You are not going to be able to solo burn this objectives, especially with so many ways to get there in a timely manner. I'm personally okay with him being an okay character. Like, I think he's fun to play. Like, running on the air and stuff is sick. You know, running around my little cloud is dope. You know, seeing the clones and stuff, he sounds like an off-brand Ninja Turtle, and I'm kind of into it.
Ninja Turtle? He was supposed to be a monkey.
Yeah, dude, I know. But he's like, dude, radical, I got him. Oh, man, I did it.
It's me,
man.
and me.
Oh my God, we're doing it. Like, he sounds like a Ninja Turtle, and that's fine.
Call Me Crazy brings up a good point. I thought I was fucking insane for thinking this, but I do remember this from Paragon. He used to be able to push his clones with his staff. Like, you could set a bunch of clones and then send them into somebody. And then,
no way, really?
Yeah,
that used to be a thing.
I never tried it. Yeah, I didn't know that.
It was toxic. It was real toxic.
You know, a good question here. I think maybe some people in the community, maybe, you know, you guys as well in here. Do we see Wukong bannable in comp?
No.
Oh,
the only reason you ban Wukong in comp is so that nobody on your team picks his ass.
God.
If it was up to me, I'd pick every solo laner until somebody else picks Wukong.
Yeah,
bro, I was in a quick play and this guy had Wukong selected, right? But he didn't lock it in. And then, like, 1 second left, he just switched and picked someone else just so no one would play him. I was like, what the fuck?
Do we see him in comp? Do we see him playable in comp? Do we see people picking him and like the?
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I've seen one high elo. I don't see it.
Even in bronze, silver, he's non-existent. We don't see him at all.
When you're looking at hero balance, you need to take a look at what can this hero do that the other heroes in that role cannot do. And Wukong can't do anything. The only thing he can do is burn objectives quickly. But in Overprime, since the objectives are so important, teams always rotate to them as a team. So it's a full team fight, not just Wukong burning it down while everybody else isn't paying attention. So when you look at that aspect, Feng Mao is just a better pick. Grux is a better pick for solo lane. Sereth, a better pick for everybody's a better pick than Wukong for solo lane.
Shimby was tearing Wukong a new one. Our team Shimby was tearing Wukong up in solo lane.
It's because he's so bad before 6, and even when you get 6, he's still bad.
I've seen Wukong in your hands though, Raven. He wasn't bad. I was watching it the other day.
I said,
skill diff.
Like when you take Raven and Soul Reaper and you give him a lane minion, they'll probably still win a game. But we're excluding like their skill level. But
the giant cannon minions now, they're the size of.
I love it.
1v1 Cannoneer versus Cannoneer.
The only thing Wukong does great in this game is he can pretty much clear any terrain when he's running away. When you're on that cloud run and you right click, he pretty much leaps over mid lane walls. He leaps over. That's the only thing. When you want to get away.
Yeah, but I think
get somebody and get away. That's the only thing he does.
I honestly still think, since you're talking about running away, I personally think Aurora can escape faster and easier than him. Really, I've seen teams run after her endlessly and she just escapes.
Speaking of,
all right.
I got shit on by an Aurora solo as Wukong, and I have 2 damage items, and all she has is Zymias, and she's doing more damage than me.
Dude, listen, Aurora Kings in chat. It is our time. Rise up.
No, so
come bully the Wukong mains.
Call Me Crazy has a really good point. That Q ability, that stun, like, I honestly think it's a worthless ability if I cannot target myself.
Take the momentum off of it.
Like, if I can't target it, if I double click, by the time I double click, even a steel runs away from you from that. Like, it's, if I can't target, like, if I have to double jump or do anything, I need to have some kind of target where I can, when I can make it like easier for me to hit the target.
Another question here. Is Wukong only a solo laner? Does he work in the jungle?
He's even worse in the jungle than he is in solo lane.
Reason being?
Yeah, you saw it.
You've got jungle needs to be able to gank lanes. Wukong,
no initiation.
No initiate. He could just
come in with your pog stick.
The only thing Wukong does is jungle is push people away from getting killed.
Basically, just like the knockback on a Murdoch.
If you can get behind them, I mean, you can push them towards your team, and I did it like once or twice. But it's again about getting there without getting caught in sprint mode and getting rooted.
Yeah, but that's it. He's like basically providing a way for your team, you know, to fight him, to catch him, to kill him. Just like, for example, maybe a face pull. You're pulling back your enemy. You're making him available for your team, accessible for your team to make him, you know, to put some damage on him. I don't think anything else really from him is he's not an invader. He's not an assassin. He's not a jungler. He's barely a solo laner, really. And with only us having in Paragon the Overprime one tower and not two, one tower and then inhibitor, guess what? I think teams, because there's only one tower and then the inhib, I think teams really always pay attention to that inhibitor. Like, it's like any rotation there, people pay attention to it. I don't think Wukong can get easily away with pushing an inhibitor without being realized, really. I feel like everybody just immediately rotates and he just runs away.
I used to think Rampage was the slowest jungle clear. Now I think Wukong's worse.
Yeah.
Until Wukong gets level 6, until he's level 6. Again, Jellynees is in Mangus's chat and he's a jungle main, I believe. But until he gets to level 6, his jungle clearing is so slow. And like Mangus said, you can't even gank lanes, so you're not getting kills off of it. So to build your items, and you're not leveling up fast enough because he can't clear that damn jungle.
All right, so I'm currently, I think, on the precipice of in plateau, trying to get up to diamond to throw my face at Raven in lane, but I've done it almost solely on the back of jungle, and I tried him in a quick play jungle like one game, and it was the most miserable experience of my life.
It's so bad.
Oh my god, dude! I was
audibly groaning. I'm like, oh my god, I can't do it.
People would be like, rotate to my lane, and I'm like, what's the point? Why are we fighting? Like, I get there, I push him with my stick, and then I'm
like, all right, I did all I can do.
I'm playing defense. I'm like, you gonna run this way?
It's like SpongeBob with Patrick when they're stuck in Sandy's dome in the winter, and he goes,
yeah,
let me try. Open the sesame.
Yeah,
well, I've done all I could do.
I think we're gonna get player retention of the OG Paragon players who hated Wukong. This is their revenge after 4 years to come back and slap the shit out of that monkey.
Yeah, you know, and one thing, his hairs, his clones, his ult, when he goes to take objectives or anything, I don't see him as intimidating as, example, an Iggy. Iggy turrets, you know, do you guys remember Iggy turrets? You place one at the, I don't know, Fangtooth or your Prime Spirit or even Overprime, and you just leave it. You place it there, you go. I think that's more intimidating, that puts more damage. Like, gamers fear it more than his clones, than Wukong's clones. I don't see them be any threat, really.
Sereth's ult is a more potent thing than Wukong's clones would feel. At least when I'm ulting a Sereth to burn down an objective quicker, I can, like, if someone comes to invade me, I'm like trying to solo this objective, I'm like, I can turn around and like have the threat of like, I'll fuck you up with this ult, dude. Don't come over here yet. But like with Wukong, what am I going to do? Just be like, oh man, come step into these 7 clones I have placed here. No, stick, and then that's what I got for you. I don't know. Like,
I'm
okay with him being okay, but I do kind of wish. I agree with Rafe. I wish he came out strong, and then they like power suplexed him. Like they picked him up by the waist and just like power nerfed him immediately afterwards. Because as he is now.
I was watching the video that Magus is playing. He just walks by this steel, just fucking stuck in the map. What is that?
Oh yeah, he tried to got stuck in the rocks. I forgot that happened.
Her new ult, it's just it turns blue and then like her wings are bugged. They don't show.
She turns into a big blueberry and she looks like she's naked because her pants are blue and her legs are blue, so it just looks like she's naked she's Donald Ducking it around the goddamn map.
Was mildly disappointed with the skin. I had to buy it as Sarah's main did.
I like the skin.
I like it when I'm not ulting.
Nice.
When I'm ulting and everything's like I'm in Smurfville. I'm like, dude, what is? I look like one of the
Violet. You're turning
Loompas.
violet.
Yes, like I was just like, whoa, because at first I thought it was a visual bug until it happened every time, and then I was like,
they'll fix it. Don't worry. We'll just complain about it enough.
All right, to it.
Yeah.
Well, you guys.
So in conclusion, I do agree. We got Brooklyn Rebel here saying he does think that he was OP in Paragon. He's not OP here in Overprime because of mainly travel mode and mainly travel mode. Like your sprint mode is basically what makes
game mechanics. Yeah.
The game mechanics do not fit for Wukong. He's not fitting in here. But hey, end of the day, we don't want to complain too much unless you guys want him buffed. Let's just keep it down. We don't want to buff on Wukong.
I do.
Let him stay as is. Let him stay as is.
All right, we need to move on to the patch notes. We can't just beat up Wukong all night. We'll do that later when we play.
Jump him.
So I'm going to bring up the patch notes here.
I was actually right on.
Dude, I preemptively have them on my screen. Got him.
Sweet Life and Pendant not nerfed enough.
All right, so
yeah, I find myself still thinking like I might still just build Pendant second item.
I've already seen people do it.
Like I'm like, because I pivoted over to like Ice Gloves, right? And I was like, okay, maybe I'll do more Sweet Life things. But I'm like looking at Pendant like an ex lover. I'm like, ooh, but you still have 10% cooldown. Like Pendant still, I think it's going to be one of the better items in the game for sure.
All right, so for patch notes, we already talked about Wukong. The first addition here is the 6 new skins added. I personally thought that these skins were going to come out like on like every month or something like that. No, they just dropped them all at once. So we got the dark wings Muriel. We got the Sparrow and the Twin Blast are both from Paragon. They're epic assets. And we got the new skin for Wukong, which they made, the new skin for Sereth, and the new skin for Decker, which are all three really cool. I mean, we already gave our thoughts on the Sereth one, but the Decker one I think is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone used it in game yet?
I own it, and I've been seeing some heroes, some gamers who like Decker.
Does it have any ability changes? Like, are they different colors or something?
I don't think
like
so.
It's
bubble?
Just
no. It's just like
they were not there yet. Too early in the game.
I think it's cool. A lot of them do. Like the 210 ones, like the Sereth one, and the like Grux, like the Fire Mag one, have different animations. Yeah. But it's because the Sereth one is 210, but the new Decker one is only 70 Kima, if I remember right.
I think it's 210.
I think it's 210.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that it has different VFX.
I haven't seen anything different. Maybe it's just me. I haven't seen.
The ball is orange now instead of blue.
I did buy the freaking Twin Blast one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
I mean,
it looked good. I liked it. I was like,
Cage is orange.
Decent.
We don't know anything about the Sparrow skin though. The one from competitive. Have we heard any news about that?
I want that.
Not yet.
I want it now.
We still don't know what rank you need.
Bro, you're plat. You're good. You're definitely gonna get it.
I know, but I don't even play Sparrow either. I have 0 games on it. Like, I just want to say
why are you taking hope away from bronze and silver players? Maybe they're the ones.
Sorry, man. You're right.
Maybe plat players.
Honestly, it'll probably just be, watch it. Not even be rank. Watch it just be like if you're in the top 500 of your region. Too much.
I not gonna lie, I did. As someone who's there, yeah. As someone who's not, man, fuck. That's fucked up. That's why would they? Why would they do?
I'm not on that team.
So moving on to the patch notes, the sale of the winter holiday skins ends, so you can no longer buy the Snow John or the Snow Bell skin. Balance changes is what we really want to talk about here. Kill and assist XP gain adjusted. Before it was 25%. Now it's 20%. So what do you guys think? Has this slowed the early game down or slowed late game down? What do you guys think?
It's the wrong change.
It needs to be gold gain.
Yeah.
You can go, because even before 25%, I've gotten 3 kills off the rip at level 1, and I'm still level 1.
Mm-hmm.
Even with like players, like you're in like a 3v3 or something because you're in the red jungle. But it needs to be gold if you want us to slow the game down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
We're just getting items too quickly. It's really fast from like the jungle perspective. I can build a lead off of like 2 invades and put someone behind like 2 levels and then sit a lane, and like the same thing happens. We're still able to like snowball. People are still able to rotate out when we're taking towers quicker. I have noticed people are now like I'm just now hitting the rank where people are starting to like group on prime at 5 minutes, but I don't know. I still see people getting super active, like rotating relatively early. So I haven't seen too many changes.
You're also screwing over supports now, and I've already seen that in ranked. They're much lower level. If you're behind now, you're really behind again.
But as far as game times, I think it stayed the same. I still end within like 35 minutes, 40 minutes.
But you want to look at it in the bigger picture, because the XP gain that changed, that got decreased, is not the only thing that they changed for us to see, the funneling down of everything that they changed on the effect of the game. Like, they changed the way casters work, the nerf that they gave, and we'll get to that. And like that, in addition to the XP gain, in addition to the cooldowns on the portals, all of that made the game in general a little bit slower. Do you not agree?
Yeah,
don't you see your caster in lane, mid lane, like farming a little bit more before she starts to rotate, or he starts to rotate?
Yeah, game times are about the same, but the game definitely feels slower now with all the changes that they made. And we'll talk about more of these changes as we go on. But the cumulative effect has definitely made the game more MOBA-ish than third-person shooter-ish, which I don't know if I care for. Kind of like the uniqueness of Overprime as opposed to other MOBAs. Whatever. Is there a game?
A sweet spot though right now. It's not too MOBA-ish. Like, it's not fully MOBA-ish, but it's not too brawly. It's like in a good sweet spot. I mean, you can tell that sprint mode is a little bit slower, but it's not that bad. It's you can still feel like you are getting to the fights, and it's just like more you got a decision make, but you can still get to a fight, you can still get to an objective, you can still get to a tower,
So the next big balance change was sprint mode, movement speed adjusted. Before it was 30%. Now it's 20%. You can definitely feel that in game.
I think it's fun.
Yeah, same. It's like I noticed initially, but I've literally forgotten over the course of the games I've played. It's forced me to be a little bit more decisive in my rotations, like certain fights or not. I can't just be like, I'm going to finish this wave, then rotate. It's like, okay, I'm going to miss like 4 CS on this. But if I want to get there at the time I want to get there,
so here you go. Favor strategy over rotation again.
Revenant does a funny like shoulder thing now when he sprints. It's just so weird to look at.
There's more.
They did say they changed the sprint mode on certain casters, like Bellica, Faye. I'm not sure which ones they are, but I haven't really paid attention to that. What do you guys think?
It's just their animations. They're actually like sprinting now, but Faye, it doesn't really change.
Yeah, I don't see anything changing. Okay, that's what exactly I'm just.
See, portal gate cooldown adjusted. Before it was 1 minute, now it's 2 minutes. I think this is a decent change, but it's not the change they needed to make.
Right.
Make portals better.
Yeah, it's another thing where it's cool. Like, it's on an extra 60-second cooldown, but I haven't really felt the influence of it now being a little bit longer.
They need to make it. Soul Reaper brought it up, and I totally agree with him. It needs to be a channeled thing. Like, you need the channel for 2 or 3 seconds before you can actually take the portal. That way, it's not an instantaneous escape. Like, it's more of a strategic, thought out thing when you take the portal, not just, oh shit, I'm in trouble, I'm just going to portal over to the other lane.
come in. A lot of times
you
I'm being
have to be
chased
out of
and
combat for like
Yeah.
5 seconds.
Yeah, something like that. You have to
something like
think
that.
about it. Yeah, you know, a lot of times I'm chased, and I know if they catch me, I'm dead. Like I'm on a slither of health, and I see that the portal's available, but I don't want to waste it. Right? I stand right by it, and they know I'm going there, and they know what because they look at the map and they see that it's available. What I would do usually, I stand by the portal and I'm looking at him. If you hit me, I'm just gonna take it and go. So he stops and he moves away. I don't go through it. I leave it available. I go hide in the bush and I teleport back to base. But yeah, it's
One
nice
of
to
these
keep
days,
it
somebody
available.
else is gonna come through your way, and you're both gonna be screwed.
Oh, yeah, probably. Oh, I've been forced to go there by Wukong stick before, and
That's
it was
literally
nice.
happened to me before. I was like sitting by a portal. I was like, I had rotated, I think it was to solo, got a kill, but I got kind of low, and I went to take the green buff because I'm a greedy little jungler, and like the support Belica just popped a cap in my ass and left. Like literally she popped out, ulted, and then started backing over my corpse. I was like, punished. Yeah, but I personally think I like the change to it being a little bit longer. I previously was a solo lane main before I moved my ass into the jungle, and it was a very common thing for me to, as soon as it's up, rotate over, drop my ult on the enemy team, try to give my duo some type of lead, see if I can like pass the kill advantage in our favor. And then by the time everything was done, if like I just go back because it'd be back up. And if not, I'll just take a jungle camp, then I'll just go back because it's right back up after a minute. So I do like it being 2 minutes because it feels like to me it incentivizes you to back to base and then run back to lane from there instead of just portaling over to continue getting CS on the next waves. So it's a small thing, but I've liked the change.
All right, guys, before you continue, I'm gonna head out. I got my event today.
All right.
It was a pleasure being here.
See you later, buddy.
I'll catch you guys later on.
Enjoy your event, Stunt.
Thank you.
Have fun. Tell you people Wukong's not broken. Come play.
All right, talk shit about him.
All right, can you guys believe that stunt take at the beginning of the game? Oh my god! He was like, Wukong's busted. I said, I'm busting my foot in his ass. God.
He's still in the chat. He's still right in the chat.
Oh shit.
Dude, Stunt's so handsome.
Monka Giga.
He's
All right, let's move on to the other changes. We got Tion on Tion damage has increased. It actually basically doubled. We went from melee Tions hitting at 200% to 400, range from 100 to 200, siege from 100 to 200. How do you guys feel about that in the game?
You skipped one. You skipped one too.
That's for you. You do that one.
Tion movement speed adjusted, so both the damage has been increased and the movement speed has been increased for minions.
4, and that's intended to
make it more. Make it more. The laning phase a lot more important. Punish you for rotating.
Right.
Stop using your lanes.
Yep. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I think the movement speed's fine. The minions, they die way too fast, and because they increase the execution threshold, like now you kill minions like way too fast too. So it almost feels like, again, I could just either set the wave or clear it fast and move on. It still feels like, why am I in the lane?
But if you clear it fast and move on, your enemy's just not going to leave you to clear it fast and move on. He's also going to clear it fast, and then you're going to have to come back because you're missing out.
Maybe. I haven't seen that yet, though. I still see people freezing the wave, though. So I think see that.
I think it's more of a change for mid laners and solo laners than it is for duo lane.
At least in duo lane, yeah.
I think it made a pretty big change for duo for mid and solo. I think it's a little bit harder to farm for real. Like you can't just. It used to be you could just chunk into a wave and almost be guaranteed that you were going to get that last hit. With the minions hitting a little bit harder, you got to pay attention, bro. They might die in between your swings.
Screw me over on my revenant shots, man.
But that's a good thing, we want it's good for people to actually learn how to farm, learn how to last hit. When I play Gadget a lot in mid lane, even in ranked. If she's not banned, I'm having her. And to me, because I want to rotate so fast and be around the whole map, I dump all my mana on the minion waves, maybe get 2 and I'm out. I come back, dump 2, and I'm out. It's a way to be able to not miss out on farming, because I also feel like playing in mid lane now, shifting from support to mid lane gameplay, I am more in my lane than before. Before it used to be you hit, you go, now you just gotta stay, and you're not even getting that much XP like before. So
went up against a Wraith today mid lane, and I was on Shinbi, and I just hard pushed the lane under his tower, and he missed out so much farm because between the tower and my minion wave coming up into the tower and attacking his minion wave, it was just deleting the wave before he could get any of the last hits. He missed so much farm because I was just pushing that shit so hard. Which is just
happened to me too.
That's just always been the case when you're going against Wraith mid lane, but it's much more pronounced now.
One thing I've recently learned, because I quit the lanes for the jungle lifestyle, but I'm like, I need to be good at other things. So I've been getting coached up a little bit. And that's exactly what you said, is knowing when to shove lane, apply pressure, knowing when to poke, to maximize the amount of CS that you're getting and minimize the amount of CS the enemy team's getting. The way it's like been explained to me, or the way I understand it with it being explained to me now from someone who does lane really well, and has been like giving me like tips and tricks on how to get better at it myself, is it's almost like a constant resource tug of war, and every CS like counts. It's to a point where like I'll be in mid, he'll be like coaching me, watching, and I'll like miss a fucking mid, and he's like -1. I'll miss another last hit, -1. And it like really like stomps into you how important getting those last hits, because it's not only building a gold advantage, it allows you to like get pressure. Okay, now you can start poking as they're like backdropping. You're on the edge of the tower. As the minions are coming out, we're trying to burn them as quickly as possible. So like Mangoose, you said, we can get our minions under tower, so it makes it harder for them to last hit. And I feel like since they changed, I haven't played as many like mid lane games, but since they changed the movement speed, it's definitely been one of those things that I feel is like more pronounced. It's just trying to get minions underneath the enemy tower, not to get tower damage, but to put the enemy team behind on farm. And if that was the goal with them like wanting to improve the laning phase, then out of the few games I've played, I think it works pretty well.
I think it's a good change overall.
Yeah, it makes you want to think, really. It adds more, all in all, just like we said, more strategy into the game than just like, we farm, we don't farm, hey, we're just going to rotate anyways, and rotations are pretty easy, fast, we get a kill, we come back.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other change, we already brought it up, was the execution range has been adjusted from 30% to 35%. That's because the minions are hitting each other so much harder. It's a little harder to last hit, so they changed that up. Super and Siege Tion size increased by 20%. Are they sure it's not 50%? Because those fuckers are huge now.
Huge.
Ask you my reaction when I saw it when we were doing a little off recording 1v1.
me and
I walk up, I'm like, what the fuck is this? We're playing Polari, and I'm the same size as it.
Dude, literally, like, no big minion comes down the lane, and I'm like, oh god, he coming. Oh.
I thought they just changed the super minions, not the cannons.
No, they changed cannon minions and super.
Yeah.
Both of them, yeah.
It's nice because if you're playing the Fae, you just hide inside of your cannon minion, and nobody knows you're there.
Like that was the most accidental Wraith nerf of all time, because I just stand behind the big boy and I'm like, snipe me now, you bitch. Like,
to be honest, when I play Gadget in mid lane, again, I keep talking about her so much. That's how I win my ranked games anyways, because she's a skillless mechanic. But a lot of times now for me, heroes in the mid lane, like for example, I was laning against the Twin Blast, and he's literally hiding behind the smart way to like avoid getting the bomb on you, the C4. He's hiding behind the bigger minion, and it's making it harder for me to actually put that bomb on him. That's actually pretty sweet thought there.
Boys,
they do need to make him a little bit more smaller, just a little bit. It's too big.
The super minions weapons glow, which is kind of a cool fact too. Make them look a little more important. Tower balance changes, all building damage increased by 10%. So tower diving is a little rougher now, but it still happens. It still happens a lot, but I don't know. I haven't really noticed. Like, if I'm tower diving, I'm gonna get that kill, and I'm not gonna die to that tower. Like, if you make a calculated decision to tower dive, most of the time that 10% extra damage to you isn't gonna matter a whole hell of a lot.
Just be like me, play Revenant. You don't even take tower damage.
Bro, Giga Chat, take him to the Shadow Realm.
The Heck Realm, just ult.
Dude,
put him in the Red Room.
Yeah, I expected this to have a much larger impact on the game than it had.
Yeah, no, I'm like, oh, damn, gee whiz, I'm taking 9 shots instead of 11. Like it's still like the prominence of like tanks and tank items in the game, and it doesn't. I don't want to say it doesn't matter because it's a part of the patch, and it's something I'm sure they changed for like the quality of life of laners. But it doesn't actually feel like it matters.
Next change was probably the one that I hated the most. The spirit buff has been adjusted. Before, a random element prime spirit would appear every spawn. Now, a random element prime spirit appears upon the first spawn. And that same element prime spirit continuously spawns. So you don't know what prime spirit you're getting before the match, but once you're in the match, it's always going to be that one. If the fire spawns, it's always going to be fire. If the wind spawns, it's always going to be wind. I don't like this change at all, and I usually kind of even if I don't like changes, I understand the reasoning behind them. I don't fucking understand this. I guess that they said that so that people could play around the buffs, but
that's not going to change.
It's actually making it harder, not play around. It's like basically if I'm in the mid lane and I need that prime, right? It benefits me as a mid laner. The dual lane is not going to help me. Hey, I'm not going to miss out on Tions in my lane to come help you in the, and the elements that it dropped before were actually what made it very unique. It was very unique. Now it's just one and gone.
I'm also God, I'm going to do the stunt thing and kind of disagree, Mangoose. I kind of like it. I don't know. Like there was an instance of it where I was like, I saw it, it's water buff. I'm like, okay, increased health and regeneration. Maybe I build like anti-heal a little sooner if they get one or two of them. It's not that like I like it extremely more. I feel like it was necessary because it wasn't, but I kind of like didn't really care for the randomness. We were in a game together where we literally saw 5 consecutive fire like spirits, guys, and I was like, okay, this feels kind of dumb because we're just waiting on like whichever one is next, and because the primary objective is going to be prime and spirits, so it's kind of a nice side thing. I just enjoy knowing which one it's going to be all game, and if I want to build around it, if they're like getting it early, then I can, instead of being like, oh well, this next one's the water one, maybe we should throw on this item or this thing. But ultimately it hasn't made a very big impact in my games. From what I've seen so far, it's still kind of all about prime.
See, my thing with it is if they're going to talk about, oh, now we want you can now prep and build around it based on what keeps spawning. It's like they're trying to change meta for some reason, but you're not going to do that unless you're going to change the items more drastically. Because it doesn't matter. If we get 5 fire spirits, it's not like Rampage is going to go, well, time to build magical power. Like you're still going to build the same items. So that's why I just find it odd. And like, even if, like you said, with the water spirit thing, like the health regen, that's not going to make me want to build, anti-heal right away. It's just going to be like, okay, well, they're just going to be healing more now. So I find it odd. I think the sweet spot there is, as I've said before, maybe do one random one, second random one, because each team could get 5, and then from there on you have it consistent. So the third one that spawns, that's the same one now throughout. So at least if you get 5, you can get 2 random and then 3 consistent if you get all 5.
Yeah, I also
it's a little bit more complicated though.
I forgot to mention this when I was explaining why I kind of like it. Like, there's been instances where I've been playing and like, right, they get the snatch on fire spirit. I'm like, oh, okay, we'll get the next one, and then the next one's like water spirit, and I'm like, okay, like this is just strictly not as good in my opinion, and I don't feel like it contributes.
So you just don't take it.
Well, no, we still take it, but it's like, would I rather have 4% like maximum power on all this stuff, or would I rather have like 2% regen? So I don't know. I feel like it's a little more, I don't want to say fair, but it makes more sense for it to be like, the other team has like fire, so they push this kind of like, they have a bit of a damage advantage. So you're incentivized to take the next one because it'll be the same thing to kind of re-even it. And you're not playing this jungling game of like, oh, I got a wind, they got the fire, I got the earth, they got another fire. But,
it sounds like you're prioritizing like fire spirit as the best spirit just because it's purely damage.
Which is what I've seen in games. What I've seen in games is that if the fire spirit is the one that spawns, that people prioritize the dog shit out of going prime spirit. if it's anything but the fire spirit, then people don't prioritize it, even though those other buffs can be just as beneficial as the fire spirit.
Because in my opinion, any buff is still a buff. Why wouldn't you take a slight advantage, especially in a MOBA with a long game that's built out? Maybe they need to look at fire spirit. Maybe that's the issue.
I agree.
I do think, and I do think that fire spirit is the best spirit. Just across the board, it makes your tanks be able to do a little bit more damage, and makes your ADCs, your carries, your mages be able to help burst down a little bit quicker. It's getting multiple feels extremely impactful in a game. So for me, it's like you get fire spirit, I get earth, you get like water spirit, okay, and then the next fire spirit is up, and I'm like, we're all like, okay, this can help even the lines as to we're making it all the same. You just kind of pull in and you're like, it's prioritized every single time, no matter what it is, because that's an advantage. If you get, instantly match, or if it's an advantage that you get initially, it's now doubled because it is the same thing. And it does allow people to like counter build into it. I haven't like seen someone get 3 Earth Spirits and been like, oh man, I'm gonna build more of this item.
But all in all, let's not forget that, for example, the 5 different elements that we had before, in addition to, and most importantly, Prime Scylla, the number 6, was actually what made the Spirit buff funner, was actually what made... I used to see way more rotations to Prime Spirit than I do now. A lot of times I just see it lingering, and I'm asking the jungle, like, are we going to take the Prime Spirit? And no, it's just this. We don't really need it.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just
really
win.
Care. Yeah, it was more fun before. Now, again, the devs did say this is temporary. This is just like a test. They're going to test it out, see how it's enjoyed by the community, where it stands, how much it did affect or did not affect strategy, and then it could be reversible,
My last thing is that I think Earth is the strongest right now, because if you see those fucking tanks with 4 Earth Spirits, you're like,
out of the way.
I guess I'm not killing them now.
All right, I guess
doesn't matter how many fire spirits I have,
Let's move on to some of the item adjustments. Pendant of Confinement adjusted. The cooldown reduction on it went down from 15 to 10. The mana stat from it has been removed. The item passive cooldown, the times that it activates and deals that big slow and AoE magical damage, that has gone from 5 to 10 seconds. The passive magical damage is adjusted from 150 to 120. 120 for melee basic attack, 60 for a range basic attack. Item slow effect adjusted. Before it was 30%. Now it's 30% for a melee basic attack, 15% for a range basic attack. And the item component mana gemstone removed, and the price has been dropped from 2,900 to 2,800. So Pendant of Confinement has long been a problem in the game. It's been a mainstay for a lot of different mages, and so they nerfed it a little bit. I don't think it's enough of a nerf to adjust when you take it, though. Maybe you just don't take it always anymore. It used to be you took it always, but now it's like, again, if I'm up against a gadget or a wraith, then I'm going to take Pendant of Confinement first. I know Soul Reaper will say that's cringe to take Pendant of Confinement, but I ask you, Soul Reaper, I'm telling you directly, Soul Reaper, what's more cringe, me taking Pendant of Confinement or some asshole taking Wraith mid lane? What's more cringe, brother?
Bro,
I fully agree with that.
Wraith mid.
But yeah, it's just been adjusted. I think it's actually still pretty decent on Shinbi and Countess if you're going Shinbi and Countess mid lane, which I think both of them have been the efficacy of both of those heroes has been increased by this patch. So I don't think
see people playing Belka and going Pendant Sweet Life, and I still don't do damage to them early.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all early, you say. I mean, all the casters are weaker now earlier. We do see that.
but because they didn't touch tank items at all, you still have the tank meta, and it doesn't matter how much that you scale into the late game, it's still tank is still stronger earlier and throughout.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
We touched on it earlier, but no, tank's super prominent, super good. If it's a matter for me, if I want to do 150 damage twice, or I want to do 70 damage to you 6 times because you couldn't kill me, the tank meta, it's to the point where like I'm borderline begging people in my lobbies not to take like your carry solo or like play like off mage. I'm like, we need that tank for that initiation. We need tanks in order to like secure these kills and objectives. Tanks are just pretty chef's kiss. The most important type of role in the game, in my opinion.
Next item that was adjusted was Sweet Life. Max health adjusted before it was 600. Now it's 500. Item recovery effect cooldown adjusted before it was 5 seconds. Now it's 20 seconds. Quite there. So the item effect for Sweet Life was you gained a percentage of your health and mana back upon a kill or an assist. And it would happen every 5 seconds. So during a team fight, you would get a lot of value out of Sweet Life. Now you're not getting as much value out of it. You don't get as much health from it. But still, I think this was a fairly minor nerf. I don't think Sweet Life, I personally don't think Sweet Life was as big of a problem as Pendant of Confinement, but
oh no, for sure. So like Pendant was the item, the goat, my goat.
It was one of the items that was talked about in the developer's diary in the Paragon Discord chat as well, that they were, talking about what they want to do with it. And here we go. We got the adjustment right here.
Then Mana Black Hole, magical damage decreased. Before it was 20%, now it's 15%. The base skill coefficient has been adjusted for casters. The adjustment decreases their base damage as the beginning of the game, so the items decrease of magical damage taken has also been adjusted. So they just made Mana Black Hole a little bit worse, so that because mages are a little weaker early.
I mean, but overall, do we see that big change impact, and which heroes do we see the impact on right now as we go in a game?
I think about the only time I ever took Mana Black Hole was on Sevarog, maybe. It's not an item. It's an item. It's not an item I've really fucked with a lot.
Same here.
Oh wait, no, I have used this. I used this on Grux one time, and it was actually pretty good. Because I was like, 20% decreased damage. Hell yeah.
Oh, ooh, I love that. No, I've thrown it on like Fangmao Jungle a couple times, like in the past, but it got to a point where my build was, pre this patch at least, like Vampiric Sword into Zemia's, into Pendant, into whatever I need to like clear the back line. So
the other thing too is I didn't even see anyone build this item, literally at Diamond Master, whatever rank. No one built it. No one.
I'm too busy building Pendant, bro.
There's all your other tank items. Yep.
Let's move on to.
What was the reason? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, it's not.
Well, let's move on to the mage changes. Everybody's calling this a nerf. It's not a nerf. It's just a redistribution of how their damage is done. So the caster hero base skill coefficient adjusted. So basically, what it is, every caster in the game, their base damage has gone down, but their scaling has gone up. So they deal a little bit less damage early in the game. They deal a little bit more damage late in the game. But it kind of evens out around the midpoint of the game, which is where most games, I think, will find yourself anyway. So it's not a huge change. However, my fear with this was that you would see more ADC like mid and ADC solo, and I think just at least in quick match, I've seen more ADCs mid and solo now after this change.
I mean, we were seeing a lot of ADCs and solo before, right? Especially in quick play. But I do agree with you. They do, because they're not hit as hard by the caster in mid lane. We do see them. However, they get stronger throughout throughout mid game. But again, you are scaling as a caster, better in midway through the game. Like, it's just like, I don't know, if you play around your team comp to counter that, I think that's still doable. Like, I don't, a lot of people would go on a Countess or a Gadget or a Bellica or a Gideon and say, hey, we're just going to go ADC in mid lane and we're just going to stand here. Oh, your rock doesn't hurt me or your bomb doesn't hurt me. That's not true. They still do that damage to you. Yeah. And if you're able, they really do. And if you're just constantly poking them, you're prioritizing your farming, you're poking them, I don't think they can survive, that long before they call out, hey, jungler, I need a gank. Like, I've just been going through that a lot. I've been going mid lane a lot. I've been seeing a lot of carries in mid lane, but they always need that help of the carry because they're constantly being poked by caster abilities.
Everyone thinks they can take swear on mid until they get hit with that 17-minute Gideon rock, and all of a sudden casters are still good. I don't know. They scale better. They're still powerful. They're still potent. They still bring a lot to the team fight. And if you're a carry in the mid or solo lane, then I feel like at this stint of the game in early access, at least, people are starting to understand that applying more pressure on your lane, especially with the increased movement speed at which minions can be pushed under tower, will put you behind, and you're gonna have a miserable experience. Casters are still good. Soul Reaper still makes them look spicy. Dude brought a Bellica mid today, and I was like, casters are in a good spot. So I think they're all good.
Well, with minions dealing more damage to each other, it doesn't take as much damage to clear the minion waves. It's not that big of a deal, and that's the main reason that ADC doesn't work. Is your early game clear isn't as good as like a Gideon's or a Gadgets or somebody. So you're just going to get your waves pushed under your tower, and you're going to lose out on farm. I think this is a pretty decent change.
Yeah.
Yep.
Makes Faye feel less oppressive early game.
Yeah, I think this is just overall a good change, and that's coming from a caster main. I don't mind these changes at all.
Here you're talking about Mangoose, that Countess. They said Countess was nerfed. You took Countess in the mid lane. Well, what is your feedback on that? I really wanted to know that.
Countess wasn't nerfed at all. Like they none of these are nerfs. They're just a redistribution of the damage. As far as that redistribution of the damage goes, though, for Countess, they seem to hit her abilities, her early game damage a little less hard than the other casters, while still increasing her her coefficient for her scaling. So I think Countess actually, this is, if anything, a buff to Countess, especially with the bug fix, so that your Q, your Shadow Ripple, I think it's called, actually goes to the target, not just bounces off their head into a random fucking direction. Countess is in a really good spot right now. I think she's definitely gone up a tier for me. Really been enjoying Countess.
Better than Howitzer, I think. I see it more Countesses now than Howitzers.
And then late game, because you're scaling even harder with Countess, you're actually able to delete somebody in a full rotation. Unless, of course, they got fucking Fanatics Dessert active. Why they didn't touch that stupid goddamn item, I don't know.
Dude, please remove Fanatics from the game.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. He's a jungle main.
God, I'm so tired.
He's a jungle main. He doesn't matter.
You don't need to remove it. You don't need to remove it. Just it shouldn't be a quarter of the fucking ADC's health bar every time it fucking activates.
No, Countess's late game feels super. I was watching a stream, and the dude said it well. He was like, her late game is super, super good. The problem is just getting there, because any other like jungler mid laner who's worth their salt is going to just try to fight you earlier in the game to kind of put you behind, because in my opinion, her early game is still on the lower end of every other character in the game. But that late game, dude, you're walking up, and if they don't have Fanatics, it's kind of just like popping people, and it's just about getting them there.
ADC hot take. There's no other survivability items in the game that can survive. You could survive a burst from a mage, so Fanatics still good. Changed my mind. What do you got? Emergency treatment? Cool. I can lifesteal a little bit more, but I'm still gonna get blown up if I can't, hit them, or if I'm stunned.
The thing is,
it just doesn't feel like there's good counterplay to Fanatics. You know it's there. You know you're not going to be able to burst them down. And if it's later in the game or in the mid game, they're going to burst you down or lifesteal back to a stable point before you can really do too much about it. I just want counter options to it. If it's a Narbash shield, I can like build anti-heal to it. Same with a Rampage ult if I'm like rotating into that. If I'm playing like if I'm jungling against a laner who's maybe a little bit quicker, maybe I'll put something on that does that AoE slow if they're just getting away too frequently for me.
Make it scale with level then.
Yeah, that would something to just make it not the like one of the like top 3 items in the game that feels borderline uncounterable.
They need a shield buster item too.
Yeah, they need a shield buster item. I would take an active that was just like takes 40% off of all shields and like an AoE around you or something to feel like I can counterplay Fanatics, because I know it's there, I know it's gonna happen, and then Sparrow just ults me with her shield and I'm like, I guess I die.
As we continue on, I do want to remember that at the end of this, us talking about the updates, I do want to tackle a little bit on a question that's being asked in the chat, and I think that's something that's been going around more lately than before, and I will get to it. It's reporting people's behaviors, in-game toxicity, and how is that handled? Has it been changing? We will get to that at the end because I do have an opinion to relate to you guys.
Okay. All right, so hero balance changes. Xena, leap through time, or R&B. This is her dash. The fully charged damage increment adjusted before is 50%. Now it is 30%. They did this because her wave clear was just a little bit too good early game. Then second change for her, 5 stars. This is her ultimate where she becomes untargetable. They changed the base damage because you're not only dealing a bunch of damage, but you're also immune while dealing that damage, and it was just too much. They thought. So yeah, what do you guys think about these changes to Xena?
No one plays her.
I don't play her.
It was
No, I'm just saying. No, literally, like I haven't seen her played now because I don't think that she needed a nerf.
She did not need a nerf. No,
She did not need a nerf. I complained about her a lot. Like, man, she's just too OP. No, she wasn't. She wasn't. I just didn't know how to counter her. I don't see her at all anymore. I mean,
she was fine. Yeah.
yeah, she was fine.
yeah, she did not need this nerf.
That's all I got for that.
Unfucking fortunate. Yeah, I don't think that was a necessary change.
After I spent all that money on that red jacket skin, god damn it.
Muriel. Now this was a needed nerf.
Hey, Mario, yeah.
Just all of her shielding has been decreased a little bit.
They increased
And these-
how much mana cost, huh?
And the speed buff duration of her right click has been lowered a little bit. So Muriel just overall nerfed. I think this was necessary. I think she's still stupid fucking strong after the.
I played her solo lane in a ranked game.
What?
I won.
How
No,
did
we
you
lost.
scale?
We lost, but I was fine. I was fine in XP and like items, but that wasn't the reason we lost the game. We had a shitty jungler and our support didn't think that they were actually. I was going Muriel solo lane, even though that was like the first thing we said in the lobby. So when it got time that the solo picked their or the support picked their character, they were last pick, and they're like, "Wait, what's happening?" I thought I was going Muriel, and we're like, "No," and he just locks in Gadget. So there was X factors there, but Muriel felt she, at least for me, definitely felt a little weaker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's a little bit weaker, but still super strong. Still a great
Still
fucking.
strong. Still's the best support. Still is the best support.
You
in
owe
my
me
opinion.
RP for that, Soul. I don't want to hear it, bro.
Bro, they're trolling. Look at the Masters players arguing with each other. Oh, you owe me 13 RP like I'm not in the top 50 in the game. Okay, gamer. Okay, guys, relax.
I'm not number one.
Dude, that's my spot. Back off. All right, so moving on from that very quick take. Who do we got up next, man?
Rampage, Savage Heave. The stun duration has been decreased from 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds. I think this was a needed change. That 2 seconds was horrible.
Yeah,
Gigabad, yeah. That 2 seconds. Fuck that.
I get Rampage rocked. I feed my cats, walk my dogs.
Yeah.
I'm just like, God, hands off keyboard. I guess I'll sit here. I'm happy I got it.
Anytime you lose player agency, it increases player frustration, and losing complete control of your character for a full 2 seconds in a team fight felt terrible. I mean, it felt good if you're a Rampage, but I mean, it's just going to frustrate people.
That was enough time for Twin Blast to auto me 36 times. So
yeah.
I'm like, I die.
But regardless, he is still bannable in ranked. He still is able to carry your game to victory.
Yeah, he can still do Rampage things. Just now you have a slight more of a chance to actually get out after you get stunned by him, as opposed to just get stunned by Rampage, you're dead.
Yep.
Still not worth a ban though in Diamond.
I will say, I was going to say, I feel like Rampage, in my opinion, is good, not great. I haven't personally put him up for a ban in a while because you throw on some anti-heal and just play the field around him pretty well. And he's still very good, but I don't feel he's super ban worthy, in my opinion.
People have learned to play against him, yeah.
Yeah. It comes with time. Guys, isn't this exciting? We got to be partners as part of an early access where like 18 characters felt busted at the beginning. And now we're getting at a point and we're just like, oh, it's fine. No, Gina was good.
It makes me wonder if somebody's going to figure out Wukong, and Wukong's just going to be super powerful once one person unlocks that potential.
Man. Gotta get that Wukong pentakill somehow.
Someone's like, yeah, you just don't get a starter item and you build lightning stone first and it's over. It's like
Murdoch shock bullet. The knockback distance has been decreased by 20%. I think this is a great change. The shock bullet is the one that knocks you back, and holy shit, would knock you back like a full shimby dash away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, it's a little less. I'd rather see an increase of the cooldown on this than a decrease of the knockback, though.
I'm fine with the range because you blast them like a football field away. I think it's just better. It's better in the sense of like it's more balanced now. So I'm not complaining about it.
I'm fine with anything that makes every carry feel a little less self, or any carry nerf that makes them feel a little less safe. It's like if I like saw a Murdoch and I'm jungling him, I'm picking Feng Mao directly into him just to get the ability shield to absorb it. But like as a Seraph or someone else, if I initiate on them and they shoot me, I'm like, this gank is over. I'm going back to my jungle. So I'm happy it got shortened quite a bit.
Twin Blast, his boost mobility, his dash has also been decreased by 20%. Same reasons they decreased the knockback on Murdoch Shield. I think this is a decent one because Twin Blast was being able to dash way too far. He was able to dash. He's able to make the red buff to Spirit Pit jump.
Yeah,
like a Gideon teleport.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that.
Steel, Ironclad Wall, his E skill, the shield that you put up. The shield spawn duration has been adjusted. Before it was 6 seconds, now it's 4 seconds. I think this is also a good change because that steel shield is super fucking effective.
OP. Very OP.
I haven't seen much of a difference in the games that I've played. It's still very disruptive for that 4 seconds that it's up, but
it is. People do, however, misinterpret and they say, oh, Steel's trash right now. Let's not ban him. He's not trash. That shield is OP. I don't know if you guys watched when Mangoose and a couple fellow gamers there, we went into the Prime Pit and we tested what goes through that shield. We literally played every single hero, tested all the abilities and all the ults, and that shield can consume almost everything. Even if it's up for only 4 seconds, Steel is not nerfed. Steel is definitely not nerfed. If you play him right, his gameplay isn't that powerful as a support. Maybe more as a solo laner or even a jungler. Yeah, his minion wave is a little bit slower at the beginning as a jungler. Not as a support though, but he's not nerfed. People don't care about not banning him. If there's a good steal around in a ranked game, he's gonna wreck your game. What do you guys think, right?
Yes.
I played
he's so
for
good.
the first time today and went 8-2 in a ranked game.
As a jungler?
No, as the solo, because the dude forgot to accept the trade. So I was like, it's fine. I'll just solo. And
just literally walk to every lane and you just impact all of them.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
literally I was just like, the charge seems good. Charge, smack, and it was a good to rampage. Just charge, smack, clear lane, charge, smack. I'm gonna you. Good
and if people know to literally hide behind that shield, use it, be behind it, play around it. It can protect you from so many things. You guys really need to get in there and try it out.
Yep, he's still crazy.
I just assume it's a brick wall. I just threw it up in team fights. And it was like, I don't know how, but this is helping.
Hey. My gadget bombs are still going to get you, though, through that. You know that.
That's cool. I have 93 armor.
Yeah. Revenant, reloading speed of Mortal Shot, R&B skill when attack speed is 1.8 adjusted. Before it was 0.37 seconds. Now it's 0.85 seconds. Raven, you wanna talk about this?
I mean, I get it because when you get to that 1.8 attack speed, you're literally instant reloading. But I don't know. I felt that maybe it's just because again, he works differently, right? Because you're just going to be blasting people with crit and high damage anyway. I did test it out though. You literally cannot get instant reload anymore. You're locked at 0.85 now. So when you get to that point, it still feels faster than let's say if you aren't at 1.8, but you're not going to have instant reload anymore. Again, it doesn't affect his optimal build. It's still the same thing where you're not focusing on attack speed, but I don't know. I don't think it was necessary only because you only really obtain that instant reload building optimal if you had, if you were level 16 and you had prime, then you'd hit the 1.8, but oh well. Oh well.
Reaper. They hit him with the hard CC, removed him from the game.
We've experienced a bug with Revenant. We temporarily disabled him.
Got him.
Phase, her synchronizer, that's her link. The range has been adjusted. Before it was 14, now it's 15. And the delinking range has been adjusted from 16 to 17. So just an overall buff for Phase. And I've actually seen a bit more Phase players in the games now.
Definitely.
And she's definitely hurting.
Yep, I see her back in the mid lane. Finally, she's viable. She does that damage to you. But what about her blind? They did do something to her blind, I believe. I haven't played her since the patch, but didn't they her light flux or E? Yeah. It says her light flux or E before was her coefficient, I think, increased. Her scaling?
Oh yeah. Just like every caster.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So even her link does a little bit less damage, but the power scaling is a little harder.
Okay.
But with her link being a little bit longer now, it's a lot harder to break it. And yeah, I've been seeing a lot more Phase mid lanes now. And I don't know, people sleep on that shit. Phase mid lane is actually really, really fucking strong.
She is. She can control a lot in the team fight too. She's damaging. Her blind is like basically a stun. She's pulling you, making you available for her team, to put that damage all on you. I want to see more Phase. Like I feel like before this patch, like I haven't been seeing her around as if like she's gone. Okay, they nerfed her, go sit down, we don't see her. But like I do want to see her more often. She's very fun. I do hear a lot from people saying we miss the way she played support, but she's a caster now. Enjoy her the way she is. She's still very powerful.
And next change was Shinbi. Phantom Dance, her E skill. This is the circle rhythm where the wolves circle around her. The skill effect has been adjusted. Before, it increased her movement speed. Now, recovers HP in proportion to the damage dealt by the skill. And that HP proportion goes up depending on the level of the ability. This is fucking fantastic. I've been
I'm a Shinbi fan.
Yeah, I hated when they took the healing off of this, and I love that the healing's back. Helps her early game if you're mid or solo tremendously, because if you take a little bit of poke, you just stand in the middle of a minion wave and hit E, and you just heal up all that damage back. It just gives her so much more sustain in lane. And then I think you still, for team fights, you still need to build Archon's Gospel to really be that sticky assassin that she needs to be and stay on top of people and stay in the fight. But this is just a great change for her early game. And you just heal even more now.
You're going to start seeing more people play her again.
She's a beast. She's an absolute beast.
I kind of want to see how she at higher levels plays out of the jungle. I consulted, like, I was it Reaper asked about it, Shinbi's number 2 fan, about like how good is she out the jungle, and he's like, she's good, not great, but she can be a very, very good mid laner now. So I'm excited to see more Shinbi. I like her kid. I feel like she has a lot of presence, and that ult has always been really good. So I'm excited to see Shinbi back in the rotation.
I've had to adjust the way I play her though because of that the power coefficient changes. Like her ultimate times that I think it's going to kill, it does not. So I really did get a handle on that. Additional improvements, quality of life improvements, the smart key settings. Unfortunately, I was hoping this would be for you would change this and it would apply to whatever hero you change it to, like hero specific cast settings. But no, it's not. It's just an easier way to change your cast settings, which is nice. Just not what I wanted.
Yep.
Yeah. Early access. I'm hoping that it's like upon like full release, this is something like season 1. It's something that they add into the game. But for now, trial by fire. Everything's on instant cast. Just everything is on it.
You know what's dangerous? Muriel instant cast on her ult.
Yeah, I bet.
I like to live wild and loose.
Penalty system has been improved.
One of them, right? Someone's got to be close.
They're over there. Yeah.
Accidentally hits the mid laner, not on the other side where the team fight's happening.
Then the mid laner's like, why the fuck did you just ult me?
Why did I get ulted?
Penalty system has been improved. If a player quits the game due to errors, their penalties will be eased upon re-entry. The login Netmarble logo screen volume adjusted. I know a lot of people were clamoring for that.
Yeah.
In-game English announcer improved. I haven't noticed any improvements.
He's still very slow and slacky. I get my kill. I'm back at base. I go to the restroom. Double kill. I want to hear it before that a little bit.
Feed my cat, walk my dog.
Right, exactly. Feed my cat, walk my dog.
Come back. Oh, he's still going. Nice.
Oh, go. Oh, shit. He got. Was there another
Quadra kill?
Quadra kill. We're on Prime now.
And one thing, I don't know if you guys noticed it. I've been noticing it a lot. It has nothing to do with the announcer. Is that, let's say there's a deck in front of me and she dies, on my team. After she dies in a bit, I hear her saying, containment fence ready.
Yeah.
I've been hearing I've been hearing their voice lines, like their ability, their ult ability ready, even after they're dead. Like a few seconds after they're gone, I hear it where she was when she actually died. So
yeah, that's got to be a bug. And then speaking of sound bugs, I had one, and I don't think we mentioned it yet, but sometimes when I back, or majority of the time when I back, and I'm in a bush or something, it sounds like someone's right next to me when they're in the jungle and like way over there on their camp.
yes.
Or they're in lane and they're over here. I start like moving the camera around.
Yes.
And they sound like they're all around me, like right in my face.
Yeah, especially at Revenant, I keep hearing there's more. A lot more.
There's
more. When
more.
he's on the team. It's like,
Hero selection time has been increased, so now you get a little bit longer to lock in.
Thank fucking God.
still, they fight so much. Do you want this? Do you not want that? The timer's like running, and I didn't really. I mean, I see it in quick play being beneficial and ranked. Get out of the way. It's not helping.
Unless I'm normally like top 2 picks, so like beforehand when we're like picking rolls, I'll be like I'm not,
Must be
I'm not
nice
saying,
to win, huh?
kind of that guy, kind of that. I'm not gonna talk about that on stream, but no, I've stopped for the most part asking people what they want. Like, oh man, Steel got through. Any of you want to play Steel? Because when there's 0.12 seconds left on the clock, they're like, I play Steel, and I'm hovering over my pick, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. But overall, nice change.
The theme change, so along with the snow being removed, the sounds have changed. Sprint mode animation improved. We've already talked about that a little bit. Hero status can be distinguished in the Hero tab lobby, displays of heroes owned or not owned, and other features. Content display and location indicator UI in the signal board chat window has been improved. I still don't know what the fuck that means. They even show a picture of it. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
You said words just now.
Yeah. Improved visibility of shield decrease on the health bar. Competitive mode added to custom game mode. I haven't tried that out yet, but good on them for adding it. Jungle monster recognition reset process improved. So the jungle minion, whenever it de-aggroes, it will immediately just turn around and walk back to its spot. As opposed to it used to, like, it would go back and then it would come back for you and then go back, but all the while it would be regaining its health. Now it just goes straight back to spawn point. Party invite feature added at the bottom right of the friend list and main screen, which I forgot that was a thing.
Completely.
Spectator system improvements. They just improved overall how you spectate the game. In-game hero portraits changed to default portraits. And graphics definition feature added to settings. I know a lot of people have been taking advantage of that. Just you can tweak your settings just a little bit more.
Sharpen and not sharpen.
Yo, I crank that shit up. It looks like Borderlands.
Oh, really?
With the cell shading. Yeah, I was like, wait, I don't even want to have this on.
Yeah.
I put it back down to like 1.
Keep that
Yeah.
Hero tab lobby, my hero portrait size adjusted and selected status display improved. So it just adjusted the portraits. The phase model was renewed. I really like it. I think it looks good.
They turned her from a Karen to a Kardashian. She's
they turned her into a Korean uwu.
Yeah, someone made a good point. I mean, like, it's a Korean company now. They're going to turn everyone into like these like attractive female characters.
One of my friends said she looks like a Black Desert custom character, and now
a little bit.
Good point.
I was like, oh god.
But realize they did not do anything to her heroic skin. She's still the same face from the old model.
Yeah.
They didn't play with that one.
I don't mind that because now it's like, oh, now it actually changes. It makes it kind of unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Now
Because it's an ugly skin to begin with, right? That dark kind of elf thing or fairy.
Not ugly.
Hiding her features.
Yeah, whatever, dog. All right, you simp over there. Game simper.
Mangoose.
Lobby basic effects of heroes have been added to the hero tab. During the quick battle position selection phase, if a player doesn't make a selection, a random position will be selected. After 2 seconds, the player will be able to view the randomly selected position. This just means if you don't lock in a position, it'll fucking pick one for you. So you don't have that confusion of who's going to play what when somebody doesn't lock in. Respawn inhibitor icons have been added to the minimap. Now the respawn inhibitors don't have a circle around them. It's just the straight icon. I don't know if you guys have noticed that.
I actually didn't notice that yet.
I thought it was
No,
a bug.
either.
I saw this like an hour before the show, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
No, that's
Like,
just to
what's
let you
up?
know that it's a weaker inhibitor because it's a respawn inhibitor.
Very nice, very nice.
XP gain balance has been adjusted. I'm assuming that's account level XP gain. I haven't really noticed anything there.
I do want to mention, because I don't think they mentioned it in the patch notes there, but the Ranger teased a while back that he was working on, or he or they were working on the ping system, improving it. And they put it into this patch, yeah. So if you ping now, it's a little bit clearer. You could see it pop up a little bit bigger in game. I mean, I wish it would still kind of pop up on the map a little bit easier, but yeah, they made it just look nicer.
Maybe that's the content display and location indicator UI in the signal board chat window has been improved.
Yeah, maybe. That's why I read that back and I was like, it could be that.
Guys, we figured it out.
Bug fixes. Fix the bug that would stop heroes if shop was opened when moving.
Now you can open it and move.
Fix the bug that would change the trajectory of a jump or cause heroes to drop when heroes with higher jump skills hit the ceiling or a wall. This was very noticeable in like Seraph and Steel.
Rampage,
yeah.
You try to jump up to land, it's just like, nah.
You just get half your body stuck in a stone brick. Yeah.
I still jump on top of minions though, and I get stuck up there on top of them. Like if I'm leaping with the Kai and I leaped wrong, I leap and I stay on top of a minion.
Oh yeah, you Mario the minions.
Briefly, I've seen Wukong on top of them. I've seen as a steel dash, as I'm dashing, at the end of the minion line, I can get above them for some reason. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Are you planning on coming to the tournament all this week?
No.
Fix the bug that would cause the hero and skin UI icons to be not arranged by grade in the hero tab. Fix the bug that would cause the additional effect of the item Sweet Life to not activate when killed by a tower monster while in possession of the item. Fix the bug that would cause players to hear the sound of Wraith's R&B even when not in Wraith's range. I'd kind of noticed that before.
That also was something that got me. I'm happy to know. I thought that was just a me thing.
Fix the bug that would cause Kalari's Faded Light, her Q skill, and Figmal's Auspicious Spirit, his Q skill, to display its effect when stealthing in Shadow Bush. I fucking hate Shadow Bush. Fix the bug that would affect some skills when Revenant used Abysmal Prison. Have you noticed any changes there, Revenant? Or Raven? I always call you Revenant now.
Call me Ravenant.
Ravenant. Fix the bug that would cause outside summons to affect vision when Raven used the Abysmal Prison. Okay, yeah. Fix the bug that would cause some skill effects of the Prime Guardian and Prime Guardian's Underling to be seen when Revenant used Abysmal Prison. So a bunch of changes to Revenant. Fix the bug that would cause some of the items to not be applied to the Phase Forest Wind skill, or Q. I didn't realize that was a thing. Fix the bug that would cause Kwang to not deal bonus damage to towers when using his basic attack after equipping items that increase magical power and using New Moon, his ultimate, and Crescent Moon, his RMB. I never noticed that.
I have B certified saying that he that Seraph is still bugged. When you E, you still get stuck on the map, corners, and arcways. Seraph players, Ego?
So I'm the prime Brigidi of Seraph. I never have gotten many bugs with the ceiling bounce. I've got like once or twice in the past, and it was in like a quick play, so I didn't pay too much attention to it. I'm happy that they're actively working on fixing some things on the characters that feel a little bit more jank from time to time, but it's not one that I personally have experienced.
I've been playing her a lot lately, and it's been fairly side cheek. It's been fairly consistent. Like, if I target my E wrong and I smack into the top of the archway instead of going through the archway and I fall down, then that's just my bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they need to fix that. If I target it incorrectly, then I shouldn't be able to go where I want to go. So it's been fairly consistent for me. I haven't played a whole lot of Sarah. Been playing her a lot recently, but you fixed the bug that would cause the starting location indicator effect to also be stealth when Wraith's space distortion each skill target moves into the shadow bush. Whatever. Fix the bug that would cause damage to reduce when Murdoch's commenced bombardment E stance was canceled after using enhanced pulse bullet on an enemy target. So I guess while the grenade was in air, if you knocked somebody back, it wouldn't damage when the grenade landed. Fix the bug that was sometimes cause the target of Wraith's space distortion E skill to fall under the map if the skill was used on a target that had used a portal. I have seen that happen before. I haven't had enough opportunities after patch to see if it actually is fixed or not. Oh, this is a big one for me. Fix the bug that would cause Countess's Shadow Ripple and Kalari's Twilight Guide to move above the target. So you no longer just bounce off their fucking heads. You get right in their face and you can unload your kit. Very nice. Fix the bug so that the skill location is always on the ground for Steel's unstoppable power, Rampage's menacing arrival, and Kwang's rumble. These skills can't be placed on the wall anymore. You used to be able to just kind of place them on the side of a wall and smack into it.
Mm-hmm.
Fix the bug where Watcher's Eye can be placed inside some structures. You can still jam a Watcher's Eye up the Overprime's ass, force the enemy team to have to hit him to deward it. So I think they still need to
about like in the map, because you could do it put like in the terrain.
Yeah, I think they need to they still need to make it to where you can't just stick it directly inside the Prime Guardian. I think that's, even though I do it.
Yeah. And I also relate to people how to do it.
I hate this thing I take part
in. That was bad.
I had an interesting bug, because you know how good the portals are. I got a Kwang sword right before I went in the portal, right? So it was stuck. Then as soon as I got out of it, I went through the portal. It took the portal cooldown. This is before this patch. It took the portal cooldown, but I was stuck slightly in the ground inside the portal. So I didn't actually go, but the portal was on cooldown, so they couldn't get to me. So I just backed. into the base. There's a clip of it. It was pretty funny, actually, because I was so caught off guard. I go through and I'm like, what? I'm still here. And I just backed.
That's weird. Fix the bug where when the hero howitzer dies while using the howitzer showtime skill, the effect would disappear or display intermittently. So if he died during his ult, you can see that you were taking damage from his ultimate. So good change there. And that's it. That's it for the patch notes.
And again, guys, these patch notes are available on Paragon, the Overprime's main website, paragon.netmarble.com, under the tab News. You can briefly go over them. The devs did a great job. Actually, I really love that they, for every single thing that they changed, they actually put an explanation, like the dev comments, why we did it and their explanation onto it. They didn't just slap the notes and say, hey, this is like that without an explanation. The explanation is actually pretty cool. I like the way they relayed the information to the community. And
patch too.
Yeah. So all in all, do we like the patch?
Oh yeah,
we like the patch, right? We do like the patch.
Yes,
We're waiting on more to be, out from that roadmap that they gave us.
I don't like it. I'm disagreeing with all three of you. I don't like this.
I think you were enjoying Paragon, the Overprime, the way it presented itself as more fight than strategy. I think you did mention that at the beginning. Is that so?
I think it's still more fight than strategy.
It is.
It was more, though. It definitely was more.
I'm with you, Mangoose. Because that's why I'm playing Overprime so much, because it's more fun to me. I like it. But I will say, the slight reduction in speed they've done with the game, I don't think
it discredits that. I think it's still that higher, fast-paced game.
Yeah, it still is. It's just a little less. I think that some of the changes they made were good, but I don't think they did enough with those changes to make it as impactful enough to really change the game in a positive way. And I think that the changes that they did make impacted the game in a negative way, like the sprint reduction. Kind of, I don't like it. There's a lot of stuff that they changed that I think they should have changed in different ways. So overall, I don't like this patch. I think Wukong was a failure of a hero introduction. I don't know, man. Just it made the game feel slower without actually being slower, and like that's not what I want. Like, I want them to go back to having all your skills unlocked at level 1. That's what I want.
Yeah.
No.
I love that.
No, please, no. You know,
I love that.
I also want to say, I want to ask you something like this. Your opinion, Mangoose, is based off, coming from a person that you play Predecessor and Overprime, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you play Predecessor, it's much of a slower game pace, like a true MOBA, all the MOBA elements, and then you come to Overprime. Before, you used to see the massive difference between them. Like, this is more fight, less strategy. This is more strategy, less fight. And now, do you think that they're starting to look a little bit more alike, or?
I guess a little bit, and that's kind of what I don't like, because if you want to play a more MOBA style Paragon, traditional Paragon, then Predecessor is just doing a better job of making that happen. So why would you want to make your game closer to something that's better? I don't know. I just don't try and meet in the middle with them. I think just keep Overprime the way it is, keep it fast paced and action packed. I mean, it's staying that way, but this patch has drifted a little bit more away from that. And again, I like some of the like Raven was saying at the top, they adjusted XP gain from kills, but not gold gain. Like it should have been the reverse. Gold gain should have been adjusted, not XP gain. If anything, you should get more XP from kills early. But I don't know. Overall, not a fan of the patch.
Fair points.
That's okay.
I'm a fan of Wukong not being too scary. I'm good there. That's more than enough for me. I did want to tackle just a little bit here, a few minutes, on a question that was asked and is being rotated around through Reddit, through different social media. I've been reading a lot about, what are they doing about reports and banning and in-game behavior and all that? Why don't they ban? Why don't they ban? Yes, the mods are working constantly. If you guys go to their Discord and report, and again, there's a feature in the leaderboards during the game. There's a lot of people who think that you have to wait till the end game to report a certain player. You do not have to. As soon as you click onto the leaderboards, there's an exclamation mark right next to each gamer's in-game tag, and you can report them during the game. You don't have to wait till the end, and even at the end, if you do wait, before you click on the word leave the match, you go up to stats, and that's how you report them. In the Discord, there's also hacking reports, profanity reports. You guys can, relay your screenshots or whatever proof you got. And I think that the mods are doing a great job, working on the game and releasing those patches and the great things. So I think they're also providing us, like they did it twice already. They put on 2 big lists of people's names who got banned. Definitely, they hashtagged some of the letters within the name to actually not really put the name, but like they are constantly listening. Obviously, there's a lot of reports always happening. This is just like any other game. We're always going to see that kind of, heated moment between 2 players. It always happens. It happens to me a lot. I learned, for me, if you cannot take the heat of the chat, right, there's an option to mute it. You can mute people. You can only get to, hear their pings if you want to, take advantage of ping announcements within the game for strategy-wise. And, other than that, that's just how it is. You report, you can't take it, mute it. They're working on it. Definitely do not think like, oh, I'm going to get reported, nothing's going to happen. If there's, evidential proof right there and people are doing a good job at actually reporting it, this, mods will pay attention to that and they will take care of it. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, Mangoose, how's the map looking?
Map looks way better. That was there's one thing that tilts me in favor of this patch, is that they fucking reverted the snow map. God damn, I was so tired of that snow map.
So about the white gloomy-ish to now seeing that it's like on day one of the patch I was like, oh, this is too bright, it's too yellow in the middle of the jungle. But now like I'm adjusted to it and it looks more like one of my friends who only played Paragon came to this game and looked at it when it was snow. He was like, okay, it doesn't look like a lot like Paragon, but I could see the legacy and the monolith. And then after they reverted to what we have now, he's like, the looks and the colors and the polishing actually do look like Paragon. And
I love the water pathways next to like the jungle camps that are close to mid lane. I'm a very big fan of that.
Do you turn on the audio to that? Like the back, like the environment audio.
My PC costs more than some people's cars. I have everything maxed out. Okay.
And
there's water in mid lane.
Is great in the game.
Yeah, so like on the side of the buff, on the side next to the jungle buffs, the like path that leads up to it before it hits like the mid stairs has water in it, right? Like this long puddle of water, and you can like run through it. And I don't know, I think it was a nice little visual thing.
Interesting.
Raven's still looking.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Because usually if you're as an ADC, if you're in that area, it's because there's a huge fight going on and you have you're not fucking paying attention.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'll have to look next time.
Yeah. It might be somewhere else, but I remember seeing it today and being like, "Oh, that's nice. This is cool. I'm a fan."
Anyway, let's start wrapping things up. Raven, anything that you want to plug, and where can everybody find you?
Raven GG on Twitch, Raven on YouTube @Raven. Check out my newest video of how to play Revenant if you guys are interested in maybe learning ADC or learning Revenant in general. I've already had a couple comments saying thank you for it because they want to play Revenant. They didn't really know how to build him or play him. So appreciate the feedback on that. And remember, because I dropped the video as soon as the patch came out, so I talked about 1.8 attack speed. It's the reload. Can't do it anymore. So sorry. First big update for that, but no, that's what I got right now. I mean, I'll be live later after this. If that counts as a plug too.
Ego.
Yeah, man. You guys call me Pigeon, Pigeon GG. If you guys want to come over and check out my YouTube, I'll teach you how to play Sparrow.
Nice.
Just kidding. Yeah.
I don't know how to play.
Step it on your bird related carry stuff, but now I'm not working on anything super huge right now. I'm going to be streaming more consistently. We're going to be doing twice a week, maybe 3 times. So if you guys do want to hang out, come follow me on Twitch @TheEgoist. That's going to be 2 E's because someone stole the other one. As well as that, if there's any like card gameplay nerds, there's some really big Magic the Gathering stuff that I'm going to be doing here in the future. So it'll be a fun time. But swinging it over to you, Lo.
As for me, I will be continuing with you guys on here after the pop show. I did announce that I do have in-game coupon codes that I would like to give out to you guys if you guys want to get into a Prime Pit 1v1 against me. Just DM me on Twitch Whispers. Quick battle. We can do mirror images. You win or you lose. Thank you for your participation in Pop. Thank you, for coming in here, sharing your thoughts, listening to us. I will give you a in-game coupon code. Just DM me.
Right on.
You, Mangus?
What's it for?
1v1ing me or maybe one of the masters up here.
1,000 Renner.
What's it for? It's in-game Renar. You can buy skins with it. You can save up and buy maybe Wukong with it. Different characters with it. You get to figure it out.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah, I think all of us partners got codes to give away. I'm still trying to kind of figure out how I'm going to do mine, but pay attention to all the Overprime partners. We will have codes given out for free Jeremy's, so you can buy your little stuffs there. No Kima, just Jeremy's, but still, we got a lot of them. We got a lot of them to give away, so we will be giving away the Kima. But nice.
Agnes of Light.
Wow. They should have an announcer in the game.
Okay. So like quick thing. I know we're doing the ending, but funnily enough, I actually became a partner because I was voice acting voiceovers for this game.
Oh, really?
For a third party site that was doing builds. So I got hired to do the voice acting for that.
Oh, nice. But that is going to wrap it up for this week. I appreciate everybody coming out to watch this live. I appreciate everybody that's watching this as the video. And if you want to head on over to Lowe's Twitch. If you want to do the 1v1s, then head on over to there and whisper her. But that is going to wrap it up for this week. This is the Paragon, the Overprime partner, signing off. You guys have a good one.